The message traveled through space for 3 days before anyone heard it. It was a simple signal repeating over and over, "Help us, please help us, we are dying." Most species in the galaxy ignored it. They were weak, everyone knew that. They lived on a small planet with barely any gravity. Their bones were hollow like birds. Their skin glowed softly in the dark, beautiful but fragile. When they came to take their world, no one was surprised. When they begged for help, no one came. The signal reached Earth on a Tuesday morning. Captain Menu was drinking coffee in his office when the computer beeped. He looked at the screen and frowned. The translation software was still working on the message, but he could see the distress markers clearly. Someone was in trouble. "Sara," he called to his chief engineer, "come look at this." Sara Lee walked into the office, wiping grease from her hands. She had been working on the engines again. She always was. "What is it, Captain?" "Distress call, unknown species. They're calling it a final message." Sara leaned over his shoulder and read the screen. Her face became serious. "That's far away, almost at the edge of known space." "I know. The Korean Space Command won't like it. We're supposed to be mapping asteroids, not playing hero." Minu smiled a little. "When did you start caring about what Command likes?" Sora laughed. "Fair point, you want to go help them." "I want to know more first. Get up here." Arrived 10 minutes later. She was the ship's, which meant she studied alien life. She was young, only 26, but she knew more about aliens than anyone else on the ship. She read the message 3 times before speaking. She said, "I've read about them. They're peaceful. Their whole culture is based on art and music. They don't even have weapons." "And someone is attacking them?" Park asked. He had just entered the office, was in charge of weapons, and he looked angry. "What kind of species attacks people who can't fight back?" The said quietly, "At least that's my guess. They're conquerors. They take planets and use the people as slaves. There would be easy targets." Minu stood up from his desk. He walked to the window and looked out at the stars. The ship, named after the symbol on Korea's flag, floated in the darkness. It was small compared to other galactic ships. Earth was new to space travel. They had only met other aliens 5 years ago. Most species still didn't take humans seriously. "How many people live on the?" Minu asked. "About 2 billion, said. "But Captain, you need to understand. They're not like us. They're fragile, really fragile. Their planet has low gravity, thin air. They can break bones just from falling down. All the more reason they need help. But they are strong. They're warriors. They've been fighting in space for thousands of years. We've been doing this for 5 years." Minu turned around. "So we should leave those 2 billion people to die?" No one answered. He looked at each member of his crew. Sara, who could fix anything with spare parts and hope, who had served in the Korean military before joining the space program, who believed all life was precious, and Shin, his communications officer, who had just walked in and was listening quietly. "I'm going to call command," Minu said. "I'm going to ask permission to respond to this distress call. Send a message back to the, tell them help is coming." "You don't have permission yet," pointed out. "I will, and if I don't, we're going anyway." Sora grinned. "Now that's the captain I signed up to work for." The call to Korean Space Command took an hour. The admiral was not happy. He told Minu that Earth couldn't afford to make enemies, that they were too new to galactic politics, that one ship couldn't make a difference against an empire. Minu listened to everything. Then he said, "Sir, with respect, 2 billion people are going to die if no one helps them. We have a ship, we have weapons, we have a crew ready to go. If Earth wants to be part of the galactic community, this is how we start. Not by being afraid, but by doing what's right." There was a long silence. "You really believe you can help them?" the admiral asked. "Yes, sir, I do." Another silence. "Fine, you have permission. But Minu, if you get your crew killed out there, I'm going to be very angry with you." "Understood, sir. We won't let you down." Minyu ended the call and looked at his crew. They were all smiling. "Set course for space," he ordered. "Maximum speed." Sora ran to the engine room, went to check the weapons, started researching everything she could find about and sent the message that would change everything. The engines roared to life. The ship turned toward the edge of known space and jumped into hyperspace. Behind them, Earth grew smaller. Ahead of them, a dying civilization waited. Received the response. She was a diplomat, one of the few who spoke to other species. She read the message with shaking hands. "Someone is coming," she whispered. Someone actually answered. "Who?" asked her assistant. Looked at the signature on the message. "Humans, from a planet called Earth." "I've never heard of them." Neither have I. Pulled up Earth's file in the Galactic database. What she saw made her light dim with fear. High gravity, dense atmosphere, extreme temperatures, dangerous predators. "What is it?" her assistant asked. "I think," said slowly, "we just asked her for help." In space, they flew faster than light, racing toward a war they couldn't imagine and an enemy that didn't know what was coming for them. They dropped out of hyperspace 3 days later. They appeared on the screen, a beautiful blue and purple planet that glowed softly in the light of its yellow sun. But around it, Minyu could see the ships, dozens of them like sharks circling prey. "Scan complete," said. 72 vessels. They're bombarding the surface. Several cities are already destroyed. Minyu felt anger rise in his chest. "Can we communicate with the—" "I'm trying. Their communication network is damaged. Wait, I've got someone, a government official named." "Put her on screen." The flickered. A face appeared and the crew went silent. That was beautiful in a way humans had never seen before. Her skin was pale and seemed to glow from within. Her eyes were large and dark like pools of water. She had no hair, but delicate patterns traced across her head like flowing rivers. She looked terrified. "Please," she said in a soft voice. The translator worked quickly. "Please, you must run. They will destroy you too. You shouldn't have come." Minyu stood up. "My name is Captain Minyu. We received your distress call. We're here to help." Stared at him, her eyes went even wider. What are you?" Stepped forward. "We're human from planet Earth. We're here to stop the—" "But you're so," struggled to find words. "You're so tall, so solid, your eyes face forward like hunters." "We're not here to hurt you," said gently. "We want to help." "How many ships did you bring?" asked. "Just one," Minyu said. "This one." His glow dimmed completely. "One ship against 72, you can't. This is suicide. Why would you do this?" "Because you asked for help," Minyu said simply. Began to cry. The crew had never seen an alien cry before. Her tears glowed as they fell down her face. "You don't understand. You'll die. They'll kill you. And it will be my fault for asking you to come." "Let us worry about that," said. "Tell us about what weapons do they have?" "Energy beams, plasma cannons, shielding that stops most attacks. They're warriors. They've conquered 100 worlds." "Good to know." Made notes on his tablet. Looked confused. "Good, how is any of that good?" "It means we know what we're up against." Looked at Minyu. "Captain, I recommend we engage before they detect us." "Agreed, but first I want to understand something." Minyu looked at on the screen. "You seem afraid of us. Why?" His hands shook. "I looked up your planet, your Earth. It's a nightmare world. Your gravity is 3 times what we can survive. Your air is poison to us, so much oxygen we would burn from the inside. Your temperature swings would freeze us, then boil us. And you have predators, so many predators. You evolved on a world that was trying to kill you every single day." Laughed softly. "Earth isn't that bad." "Not that bad," voice rose. "You have creatures called bears that weigh 300 kilograms and can run faster than our fastest vehicles. You have tiny insects called mosquitoes that kill millions of you every year. You have plants that are poisonous to touch. And you consider this normal." The crew looked at each other. They had never thought about Earth that way. Also, continued, her voice getting higher, your medical file says you heal from injuries that would kill any other species. You can survive with damaged organs. You have backup systems for your backup systems. And your endurance. You can run for HOURS without stopping. What kind of species can do that? We call it persistence hunting, explained. Our ancestors would chase prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. Put her head in her hands. I asked for help. We're going to die and you're going to die and... Nobody is dying today except the Minu interrupted. Now I need you to do something for me. Get your people to shelters. We're about to make those ships very angry. You can't fight them all. Watch us. Minu cut the connection and turned to his crew. Take us into combat range. Sara, I need engines at 110%. Nam the pilot cracked his knuckles. Finally some action. Sara's voice came from the engine room. Captain, running engines above 100% violates galactic safety standards. Good thing we're human then. Do it. Already done. Engines at 115% and climbing. They accelerated toward the fleet. Alarms started blaring on the ships. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. One small ship was flying straight at them. The commander opened a communication channel. His face appeared on screen. He looked like a cross between a reptile and an insect, with hard plates covering his body and multiple eyes that glowed red. Unknown vessel, he said. You are interfering in business. Turn away or be destroyed. Minu smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. This is Captain Minu of the human vessel. You are attacking a defenseless civilization. Leave now or we'll make you leave. The commander laughed. It sounded like rocks grinding together. You, one tiny ship, you must be joking. Do I look like I'm joking? The commander studied Minu's face. What he saw there made him pause. Those forward-facing eyes. Those teeth designed for tearing meat. That expression of absolute confidence. What species are you? The commander asked. Human from Earth. Never heard of it. You will. The commander laughed again, but this time it sounded nervous. Very well, human. If you want to die protecting these weak creatures, we'll grant your wish. All ships open fire. 72 warships turned their weapons toward the small human vessel. In the Minu sat back in his chair. Weapons free. Show them what it can do. Grinned with pleasure, Captain. The fired first. Energy beams and plasma bolts filled space. They expected the human ship to explode immediately. Instead, they dodged. On the planet, watched on her screen. She gasped. The human ship was moving in ways that should be impossible. It twisted and turned, pulling maneuvers that would create forces strong enough to crush any normal crew. How are they doing that? Her assistant whispered. Check the readings. Those turns are generating 9 times standard gravity. 9 times, they should all be dead. But inside the crew was fine. Uncomfortable, yes, but fine. Humans had evolved under Earth's heavy gravity. Their hearts were strong. Their bones were dense. 9 was painful, but they could handle it. Firing announced. There was a simple weapon. It just fired a piece of metal very, very fast. Most galactic species thought it was primitive. But when that piece of metal hit a ship at a significant fraction of light speed, it punched straight through their shield and tore the ship apart. They couldn't believe it. Their shields were designed for energy weapons. They had nothing that could stop a physical projectile moving that fast. Again, Minu ordered. Fired again. Another ship exploded. The commander screamed orders. All ships evasive action, focus fire on that ship. But there was already gone, moving to a new position. Was laughing as he flew, pulling turns that made the ship groan but never break. Sara had built the tough. She had built it to survive Earth conditions, which meant it could survive anything the galaxy threw at it. Another shot, another explosion. They began to realize they had made a terrible mistake. They had just attacked a species. The battle lasted 17 minutes. To them, it felt like hours. To the humans, it felt like practice. Pushed through another impossible turn. The ship screamed as metal strained, but it held together. Behind them, 3 ships crashed into each other trying to follow the maneuver. They exploded in balls of fire. "They're not very good at this," commented. "They're used to fighting species that move slowly," said from her station. She was monitoring the battle and analyzing tactics. "Look, they're trying to box us in. That works against most ships, but we're not most ships," Minu finished. "Target the command vessel. Let's cut off the head." "Already locked on, Captain." The fired again. The projectile crossed the distance in less than a second. The commander's ship tried to dodge, but it was too slow. The round punched through the bridge, killing the commander instantly. The fleet fell into chaos. Ships fired in all directions. Some hit each other. Some just spun in space, confused and leaderless. "They're trying to run," reported. "Let them," Minu said. "We're not here to commit genocide. We're here to protect the—" But they weren't all running. A group of 5 ships broke away from the fleet and accelerated toward the at ramming speed. "They're going to try to board us," said. He checked his weapons. "Good, I was hoping for some close combat." "You're enjoying this too much," said. "Am I? We're protecting innocent people from bullies. What's not to enjoy?" The 5 ships surrounded the magnetic grapples shot out and clamped onto the hull. Cutting torches began burning through the outer doors. "They're breaching Deck 3, Sora reported, sealing off that section." "Security teams to Deck 3, Minu ordered. You have command of the defense." Smiled and grabbed his rifle. "On my way." He ran through the corridors with 5 other crew members. They took positions behind cover, weapons ready. The sound of cutting metal grew louder. Then, with a bang, the outer door fell inward. Smoke poured into the corridor. Through the smoke came the warriors. They were big, almost 3 meters tall, covered in armor plating that looked thick and strong. They carried weapons that sparked with energy. They roared as they charged forward. Waited until they were halfway down the corridor. Then he opened fire. The fight was over in seconds. The warriors were big and strong, yes, but they were slow. They had evolved on a low-gravity world just like most galactic species. Their muscles were designed for strength, not speed. Humans were different. Humans had evolved to run down prey across open grasslands, to fight and survive against predators, to move fast and think faster. The first warrior took 3 bullets to the chest and fell. The second managed to fire his weapon, but the energy bolt went wide as dodged. Human reaction time was faster than the expected. The third warrior tried to use his size to his advantage, charging forward like a bull. Simply stepped aside and shot him as he passed. The remaining warriors stopped advancing. They looked at their fallen comrades, then at the humans. For the first time in their lives, they felt something they had never felt before: fear. "Surrender," called out in the trade language. "Throw down your weapons and you'll live." One warrior roared and charged, shot him. The others threw down their weapons. "Smart choice," said. "Security, take them to the brig." On the bridge, Minu listened to his report with satisfaction. Boarding party neutralized. No human casualties. Several injured, none killed except those who kept fighting. "Good work. How's our situation?" "The fleet is retreating. They're running for the jump point." "Let them go. Open a channel to the planet." His face appeared on screen again. She looked shocked. Around her, others were staring at their own screens, watching the impossible battle replay. You won," whispered. "1 ship against 72, you actually won." "We told you we would," Minu said. "But how? How did you move like that? How did you survive those forces? We calculated the G-forces your ship was pulling. Any other species would have been crushed to paste." "Spoke up. Our planet has strong gravity. Our bodies are built for it. What crushes you is normal for us. And your weapons, another said, appearing next to. They went through shields like they weren't even there. Rejoin them on the bridge. Shields are designed to stop energy weapons, are just metal moving really fast. Simple physics. Simple looked like she might faint. You call that simple? Are you okay? Asked with concern. I'm trying to understand what you are. We thought you were coming to help us, but now I think you're the most dangerous thing in this sector of space. Minyu's expression became serious. Dangerous, yes, but not to you, never to you. We came here to protect you, and that's what we did. Why? Asked. Why would you risk your lives for people you've never met? Because it was the right thing to do. Was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, one of your ships was damaged. The managed to breach your hull. Are your crew injured? A few cuts and bruises, nothing serious. Cuts and bruises, looked horrified. Your ship was BREACHED. You fought warriors in hand-to-hand combat, and you only have CUTS and BRUSES. Shrugged, they were tougher than they looked, I'll give them that. One of them almost got me, left a pretty good scratch on my arm. He held up his arm. There was indeed a cut, about 10 centimeters long. Blood was already clotting around it. Every on the screen went completely silent. That wound would kill one of us, said quietly. The blood loss alone, the shock to our system, and you're not even going to the medical bay. For this, it'll be healed in a few days. Days. His voice was getting higher again. We take MONTHS to heal from injuries like that if we survive at all. The ship's medic walked onto the bridge. He looked at his arm. You should still let me bandage that. Don't want it getting infected. See, said to the screen, proper medical care. Cleaned the wound and wrapped it in bandages. The whole process took 2 minutes. They watched like they were seeing magic. I don't understand your species, said. You're terrifying. You come from a world that would kill us in seconds. You fight in ways that should be impossible. You heal from wounds that would destroy us. And yet, you came to save us. You risked everything for strangers. That's what good people do, Minyu said simply. Good people, repeated. Yes, I suppose you are, terrifying but good. We'll take that as a compliment, said with a smile. Please, said, please land on our planet. Let us thank you properly. Let us try to understand what you are. Minyu looked at his crew. They all nodded. We'd be honored, Minyu said. As they descended toward the planet, Sora came onto the bridge. She was covered in grease and looked exhausted. How bad is the damage? Minyu asked. Not bad. Give me a day and we'll be good as new. Those couldn't cut through our hull properly. Earth steel is tougher than they expected. Everything about Earth is tougher than they expected, said. They could see the cities below. They glowed softly in the fading light, beautiful and peaceful. And safe now because a small ship from a distance had decided that some things were worth fighting for. The age of humanity had begun. They landed in the capital city of the. Thousands of gathered to see the ship, but they kept their distance. Fear and gratitude mixed in their glowing faces. Minyu and his crew wore special suits that limited their weight. The planet had low gravity and the humans were heavy. Without the suits, they might crack the ground just by walking. Met them at the landing pad. She stood with several other officials, all of them staring at the humans like they were looking at dragons. Welcome to, said softly, her voice shook a little. You are our heroes, but also, please forgive us, we are afraid. We understand, said gently. We know we look different. We know our world is strange to you. Strange, an older stepped forward. His glow was dimmer, showing his age. I am elder. I have studied many species in my long life, but never have I seen anything like you. Your very existence seems impossible. We get that a lot, said with a grin. Spoke up. Would it help if we explained about Earth, about where we come from? Maybe understanding us will make us seem less frightening. and looked at each other. They had a quick, whispered conversation, then nodded. Yes, please, we want to understand. Come, we've prepared a meeting hall. The hall was beautiful. The walls glowed with the natural light they produced. Everything was delicate and artistic. The furniture looked like it might break if someone breathed on it too hard. The humans sat down very carefully. So began, tell us about Earth. Pulled up a holographic display. An image of Earth appeared, blue and green and white, spinning slowly. This is our home, said. It's what we call a terrestrial planet, rocky, with water covering about 70% of the surface. It looks peaceful, observed. It can be, agreed. But it's also a world of extremes. Our gravity is, she paused, checking her notes, about 3 times what you have here. Our atmosphere is much thicker and contains more oxygen. Why so much oxygen? Asked. Plants, said simply. Billions of years ago, tiny organisms started producing oxygen. Eventually, it filled our atmosphere. It makes everything more energetic. Fires burn hotter. Metabolism runs faster. Life is more intense. The shifted uncomfortably. What about temperature? Asked. It varies. At our equator, it can reach 50 degrees Celsius. At our poles, it can drop to negative 90 degrees. Made a sound like a gasp. That's a range of 140 degrees. How does anything survive? We adapt, Minyu said. Humans can live in almost any environment on Earth. Deserts, ice caps, mountains, jungles. We're really good at adapting. Show them the animals, suggested. Change the display. An image of a polar bear appeared. Every in the room dimmed their glow in fear. This is a bear, said. They live in our coldest regions. They can weigh up to 800 kilograms. They're excellent swimmers and can run at 40 kilometers per hour. And humans hunt these? Asked in a tiny voice. Sometimes, though mostly we leave them alone now. We have laws protecting them. You protect them, looked confused. Why would you protect something that could kill you? Because they're part of our world, said. We learned a long time ago that every creature has value, even the dangerous ones. She changed the image. A shark appeared. This lives in our oceans. It has hundreds of teeth and can smell blood from kilometers away. Another image, a snake. This one is venomous. Its bite can kill in hours. Another, a mosquito. This tiny insect kills more humans every year than any large predator. It carries diseases. The images kept coming. Lions, crocodiles, spiders, jellyfish. Each one made the glow dimmer with fear. Your planet is full of things trying to kill you, whispered. How did you survive? We're stubborn, said, and we're built tough. Stepped forward. May I explain about human biology? It might help you understand. Nodded, though he looked nervous. Humans have redundant systems, began. We have 2 lungs, but we can survive with one. We have 2 kidneys, but one is enough. If a blood vessel is damaged, other vessels can reroute the blood. If bones break, they grow back together, usually stronger than before. Bones can break and then fix themselves, looked faint. Yes, it takes a few months, but they heal. Months? We take years to heal from broken bones, if we survive the injury at all. Continued. We have multiple layers of immune defense. Skin, mucous membranes, white blood cells, antibodies. We're designed to fight off infections and diseases constantly. That wound showed us, said. The one from the warrior, you said it would heal in days. Maybe a week, said, checking his bandaged arm. It's already starting to close up. Impossible, breathed. Not impossible, corrected gently. Just different. Your body's evolved on a gentle world. Ours evolved on a harsh one. Neither is better or worse, just different. Sora spoke up for the first time. Can I ask you something about your technology? Of course, said. Your ships, they're beautiful, really elegant designs, but they seem fragile. Why? Looked thoughtful. Because in space there are no predators, No extreme weather, no crushing gravity. We build for efficiency and beauty, not strength. Humans build for worst-case scenarios, Sora said. Every system has backups. Every wall is reinforced. We assume things will go wrong, so we prepare for it. Because on Earth, things always go wrong, Minyu added. That sounds exhausting, said. It's just normal for us, Minyu replied with a shrug. There was a long silence. They were trying to process everything they had learned. Finally spoke. I understand now why you won the battle so easily. You weren't just fighting you were bringing millions of years of survival instinct to a galaxy that doesn't have it. We're not special, said. We just come from a difficult place. No, said firmly. You are special, not because you're strong or fast or tough, but because despite coming from a world that taught you to be warriors, you chose to be heroes. You could have ignored our call for help. You could have let us die, but you didn't. We couldn't, Minyu said simply. Why not? Because we know what it's like to struggle, to face impossible odds, and we know how much it means when someone reaches out a hand to help. Stood up slowly. She walked over to Minyu, though he could see her trembling. She reached out one delicate, glowing hand. Minyu very carefully took it in his own. Thank you, she said, for saving us, for teaching us, for showing us that strength and kindness can exist together. You're welcome, Minyu said. An alarm beeped, checked her communicator. Captain, we're receiving a message. It's from the... Everyone tensed. Put it through, Minyu said. A face appeared on the holographic display, but this wasn't a warrior. This was someone older, wearing robes instead of armor. I am diplomat, they said. I speak for the Empire. We wish to discuss terms. Terms for what? Minyu asked. Terms for peace. We have fought many species across many worlds. We have never encountered anyone like you. We withdraw our claim to the system. We will pay reparations for the damage we caused, and we request that you share information about your species with the Galactic Council. Why? Because the galaxy needs to know, needs to understand, before we make the mistake of attacking you again. Minyu looked at his crew. They all nodded. We accept your terms, Minyu said. They are under Earth's protection now. Anyone who attacks them attacks us. Bowed his head. Understood. We will inform the Council. Expect a formal invitation to join the galactic community. The communication ended. Looked at Minyu with wide eyes. You just made Earth a galactic power. No, Minyu said. We just made it clear that we protect our friends. There's a difference. Outside, the sun was setting. The city's glow grew brighter as night fell, and somewhere in the darkness of space, the word was spreading. Earth had arrived, and nothing would ever be the same. 6 months had passed since the Battle of. There was returning to Earth, but the galaxy had changed in ways nobody expected. Minyu sat in his captain's chair, reading reports. There were a lot of reports, too many. Another one said, forwarding a message to his screen. The Pillow People are being threatened by raiders. They're asking if Earth can help. Add it to the list, Minyu sighed. How many requests is that this week? 47. 47 species asking for our help. We have one ship. I know, Captain, but word has spread. They can't stop talking about us. They've built monuments, written songs, made us into legends. Walked onto the bridge. I saw one of those songs translated. They call us the glorious terrors from the Death Planet. I kind of like it. They also call us the gentle giants who walk through fire, added, looking up from her station. The culture has completely changed. They're obsessed with Earth now. They want to learn everything about us. Speaking of learning, Sora's voice came from the engine room. I've been getting messages from alien engineers. They want to know how we built the so tough. They can't believe our ship survived that battle with so little damage. What did you tell them? Minyu asked. That we build everything like it has to survive a typhoon, an earthquake, and a volcano. Because on Earth it might have to. Spun in his pilot seat. The best part is the combat pilots. Other species are trying to copy our maneuvers, but they can't handle the G-forces. 3 ships have hospitalized their crews trying to fly like humans. That's not funny, said. It's a little funny, replied with a grin. Entered the bridge carrying a medical tablet. Captain, I've been invited to speak at a galactic medical conference. They want me to explain human healing capabilities. Apparently, half the galaxy thinks we're lying about how fast we recover from injuries. Are you going? Minyu asked. I think I should. If we're going to be part of the galactic community, they need to understand us, all of us. The ship's communication system beeped. An official-looking message appeared on screen. It's from the Galactic Council, said. Her voice became formal as she read it aloud. Captain Minyu and crew of the are formally invited to appear before the Council to discuss Earth's membership in the galactic community. Your presence is requested in 2 weeks. Everyone on the bridge went quiet. Well, said finally, that's big. That's terrifying, corrected. The Galactic Council represents 8,000 species. We're going to stand in front of 8,000 species and represent all of humanity. No pressure, muttered. Minyu stood up. We knew this was coming. The moment we saved, we changed Earth's position in the galaxy. Now we have to deal with the consequences. Some species want to restrict us, said quietly. I've been monitoring communications. There's a movement calling for limitations. They're afraid of us. Can you blame them? Sara asked. We showed up, destroyed a fleet, and barely broke a sweat. Of course they're afraid. But we're not monsters, protested. We protected the weak. Doesn't that count for something? It counts for a lot, Minyu said. But fear is powerful. We need to show the Council that humans can be trusted with our strength. They continued its journey home. As they approached Earth, Minyu felt a strange mixture of pride and worry. His planet looked so beautiful from space, so blue and alive. But he knew what the galaxy saw when they looked at Earth. They saw a world of fire and ice, of predators and prey, of endless struggle. They saw Earth's orbit was crowded now. Ships from a dozen species floated there, waiting. Some were diplomats, some were scientists, some were just curious. All of them wanted to see humanity's home planet. They docked at the newly built space station. Admiral Park was waiting for them. He looked older than Minyu remembered. Welcome home, Captain, the Admiral said. You and your crew are heroes. Earth is very proud. Thank you, sir, but you're worried about the Council meeting. I know we all are. They walked through the station together. Through the windows, Minyu could see Earth turning below them. Cities sparkled like jewels. Oceans gleamed. Clouds drifted across continents. Earth has received over 1,000 requests for aid since, the Admiral said. Smaller species being bullied by larger ones. Planets facing disasters. Systems dealing with pirates. Everyone wants to save them. We can't save everyone, Minyu said. I know, but we need to decide how we're going to handle this. The Council will ask us about our intentions, about our military capabilities, about whether we're a threat. Are we? The Admiral stopped walking. He looked at Minyu seriously. Compared to most galactic species, yes, we absolutely are. Our gravity makes us stronger. Our oxygen makes us faster. Our evolution makes us tougher. If we wanted to conquer, we probably could. But we don't want that. No, we don't. The question is, will the Council believe us? 2 weeks later, they arrived at the Council station. It was enormous, a spinning wheel the size of a small moon. Ships from every corner of the galaxy filled the docking bays. Minyu and his crew walked through corridors filled with aliens. Some looked at them with curiosity, some with fear, some with hope. The Council chamber was vast. Thousands of representatives sat in curved rows, representing thousands of worlds. At the center was a speaking platform. Met them at the entrance. She looked nervous but determined. "I'm here to speak for you," she said. "They have the right to address the Council, and I'm using that right to support Earth's membership." "Thank you," Minyu said. "Thank you," replied, "for everything." A chime rang. The council session was beginning. Minyu walked to the platform with his crew. 8,000 sets of eyes watched them. He could feel the fear in the room, the uncertainty, but also the curiosity. A holographic figure appeared. It was the council speaker, a being of pure energy named Captain Minyu of Earth's voice echoed through the chamber. "You stand before the Galactic Council. We have reviewed your species. We have studied your world. We have analyzed the battle of, and we must ask, what are your intentions?" Minyu took a deep breath. "Our intentions are simple. We want to be part of the galactic community. We want to trade, to learn, to share our knowledge and benefit from yours. And yes, if asked, we want to help those who need protection. Your world is classified as a said. Your species has capabilities far beyond most galactic norms. Some representatives fear that humanity could become a threat. How do you respond to this concern?" "I understand the fear," Minyu said. "Earth is harsh compared to most worlds. Humans are tough compared to most species. But being strong doesn't make us evil. We've had wars on Earth, terrible ones. We've made mistakes, but we've also learned from them. We've learned that strength should protect the weak, not oppress them." "Pretty words," a voice called out. A representative stood up. It was Diplomat. "But how can we trust you? You destroyed our fleet. You humiliated our warriors. What's to stop you from doing that to anyone who opposes you?" Minyu looked at calmly. "You attacked a defenseless planet. We stopped you. That's not humiliation. That's justice." "You had one ship," shouted. "One ship against our entire fleet. Do you understand how terrifying that is?" "Yes," Minyu said quietly. "I do. I understand that fear. But let me ask you something. Did we pursue your fleet when it retreated? Did we demand tribute? Did we threaten your, or did we accept your peace offer and let you go?" Was silent. "Strength without restraint is tyranny," Minyu continued. "But strength with mercy is protection. That's what humanity offers. We're not asking to rule anyone. We're offering to stand with those who need us." Stood up, her glow was bright and steady. "The speak for Earth. They saved us when no one else would. They risked their lives for strangers. They showed us that the measure of a species is not their power but what they choose to do with it." Other voices joined in. Species that had been helped by Earth's growing fleet, planets that had received aid, systems that had found hope. The vote was close, but in the end the Council made its decision. "Earth is granted membership in the galactic community," announced, "with full rights and responsibilities." The chamber erupted in mixed reactions. Cheers, protests, arguments, but Minyu didn't hear any of it. He was looking at his crew, at Sora and at the people who had trusted him and followed him into danger. "We did it," whispered. "No," Minyu said. "We started it. Now comes the hard part, proving we deserve this trust." That night the crew gathered in a bar on the council station. It was a human-run establishment, built to Earth standards with Earth gravity. Other species could visit, but they had to wear support suits. Minyu raised his glass, to Earth and to the future. "To doing the right thing," Sora added. "To protecting those who need it," said. "To learning and growing," said. "To building bridges," said. "To flying like we mean it," said with a grin. "To healing and helping," finished. They drank together, these 7 humans who had changed the galaxy. Outside the window, ships from 1,000 worlds drifted past. And on Earth, billions of people looked up at the stars and wondered what tomorrow would bring. The age of humanity had truly begun, not as conquerors, not as overlords, but as defenders, as friends, as the people who came when others cried for aid. Because that's what do. They survive, they endure, and they protect those who cannot protect themselves. The galaxy would learn this truth in the years to come. Some would learn it with gratitude. Others would learn it the hard way. But they would all learn. When you cry for aid, when you need help desperately, when all hope seems lost, the will come. And nothing in the galaxy can stop them.